It starts small, just a video here and there, a quick escape, a way to feel something again. But over time, for many older men, pornography becomes less of a spark and more of a crutch. Let's be clear, watching adult content isn't wrong or shameful, but when it becomes the primary source of stimulation, especially in your later years, it can quietly rewire your brain, affect your emotional health, and weaken your connection to real intimacy. Here's what's happening behind the scenes. Porn floods your brain with dopamine, the feel-good chemical that creates reward and desire. With repeated exposure, your brain adapts by needing more intense content to feel the same level of arousal. That's called desensitization. Suddenly, natural touch, real connection, or a partner's affection may not seem enough. Even worse, it can affect your body. Men report trouble maintaining erections with a partner despite functioning fine alone. That disconnect creates frustration, shame, and distance, often mistaken as aging, when in reality it's a neural habit loop built by overstimulation. Many men also begin to feel emotionally numb. Instead of sex being about closeness or intimacy, it becomes mechanical, something done alone, in secret. Over time, this isolation can affect your self-esteem, your relationships, and even your ability to experience joy in simple moments. So, what can you do? First, notice the patterns. Are you using pornography as a stress reliever, out of boredom, or to replace emotional needs that feel unmet? Becoming aware of your habits is the first step to shifting them. Second, consider reducing your consumption gradually. You don't have to quit cold turkey. Replace screen time with real-world experiences, reading, walking, calling a friend, or even mindful touch. Reconnect with your body in a way that feels human, not programmed. Third, if you have a partner, open up. Rebuilding intimacy may take time, but it can be deeply rewarding. Touch, laughter, conversation, even just sitting close, these are the building blocks of real connection, and they matter just as much at 70 as they did at 20. It's not about guilt, it's about choice. You deserve pleasure, connection, and a full emotional life. But those things don't live behind a screen. They live in your senses, your heart, and your willingness to engage with the present. And here's something most men overlook. While emotional habits matter, your physical lifestyle is just as critical. What you eat, how you sleep, how much you move, it all shows up in your performance and long-term health. Let's dive into how your everyday choices might be speaking louder than you think. Your penis doesn't live in a vacuum. It's not separate from the rest of your body. In fact, it's often one of the first places to show signs of deeper health issues, especially those related to blood flow, hormones, and energy. If your erection isn't as strong or frequent as it used to be, it may not be about aging. It might be about your daily choices. Let's start with diet. Every artery that feeds your heart also feeds your penis. So when those vessels get clogged from years of processed food, sugar, and trans fats, blood flow suffers everywhere. Erectile difficulties are sometimes the first warning sign of heart disease. That's right. The same foods that raise your cholesterol can silently reduce your sexual vitality. Choosing leafy greens, berries, nuts, olive oil, fatty fish, and staying hydrated helps your entire vascular system, including the parts that matter most during intimacy. Avoiding excessive alcohol, sugary snacks, and heavy red meats is another key to keeping blood flowing freely. Next, let's talk about exercise. Movement boosts testosterone, improves circulation, lowers stress, and enhances mood. You don't have to become a gym rat. Even daily walks, gentle resistance bands, or light stretching can improve pelvic health. And pelvic floor exercises, like Kegels, can directly strengthen the muscles responsible for maintaining an erection. Then there's sleep. Most men don't realize that poor sleep disrupts hormone production, including testosterone. Interrupted rest, especially due to apnea or stress, can drain your energy, dull your libido, and leave you feeling less like yourself. Prioritize a calm nighttime routine, limit screens before bed, and aim for 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep. Your body and mind will thank you. All three of these pillars, food, movement, rest, are interconnected. When you treat your body with care, it shows up in your posture, your energy, your confidence, and yes, your sexual health. Think of your penis not as a separate system, but as a mirror reflecting your overall well-being. If it's struggling, something else inside may be too. The good news? This mirror works both ways. Improve your habits, and the reflection improves too. And there's one more small but surprising habit, often ignored, that can quietly protect your intimate health each night without you lifting a finger. Let's talk about what really happens when you ditch the underwear while sleeping, and why it might just be one of the easiest upgrades you can make. It might sound odd at first, but what you wear or don't wear to bed can quietly influence your intimate health in surprising ways. As men age, circulation becomes more important than ever. Your body needs proper blood flow to nourish tissues, remove toxins, and support nightly erections, which are nature's way of keeping things in working order even while you sleep. But here's the problem. Tight or synthetic underwear can restrict blood flow, trap heat and moisture, and compress sensitive areas during those nighttime erections. That friction and pressure can lead to irritation, inflammation, and even tiny vascular damage over time, especially in men over 60 whose skin is thinner and more delicate. Wearing nothing or switching to loose-fitting sleepwear like breathable cotton shorts or pajama pants gives your body the space it needs to rest, recover, and function properly. Your testicles also benefit from a cooler environment, which supports healthy testosterone levels and reduces the risk of fungal or bacterial buildup. But it's not just about blood flow. Going commando at night allows your skin to breathe, lowers the chance of chafing or rashes, and can even improve the quality of your sleep. Cooler temperatures signal to your body that it's time to rest, and uninterrupted sleep, as we discussed earlier, is a cornerstone of hormonal balance and sexual function. Of course, comfort matters too. If you feel awkward or exposed without underwear, simply opt for loose-fitting boxers instead of tight briefs. The goal is to reduce compression and allow natural movement without resistance. It's a small adjustment, and like most health tips in this series, it doesn't cost anything. No medication, no appointment, just a shift in routine that honors your body's needs as it ages. Many men have never been told this. Generations were taught to tough it out, never discuss this part of the body, and assume things would just take care of themselves. But wisdom doesn't come from silence. It comes from paying attention. When you start noticing what helps your body rest, breathe, and function freely, you gain a quiet power, the power of prevention. And by now, you've seen that caring for your penis isn't just about sex. It's about protecting your blood vessels, your nerves, your confidence, and your dignity. So let's bring all of this together and remind ourselves why penis care after 60 is not only essential, but empowering. Imagine waking up one morning and realizing something just isn't working the way it used to. No warning, no pain, just different. For millions of men over 60, this isn't a nightmare. It's reality. The signs are subtle at first. A weaker response, a little less sensitivity, a sense that something has shifted. Most brush it off, blame it on stress or aging, but often it's the body quietly raising a red flag. Here's the truth. Your penis doesn't just age, it responds. It responds to how you live, how you move, what you eat, how you sleep, and even how often you use it. It reflects your overall health more than almost any other part of your body. Yet nobody talks about this. For decades, men were taught to ignore this part of themselves unless something went very wrong. And by the time it does go wrong, the damage has often been building for years, silently. But here's the good news. There's no age where it's too late to take better care of your body, and especially your intimate health. You don't need expensive pills or invasive procedures to make a difference. What you need is awareness and a handful of essential science-backed habits that help preserve what matters most. Because this isn't just about erections. It's about blood flow, prostate health, confidence, comfort, and control over your aging process. The kind of control that starts with understanding one simple but powerful fact: disuse causes decline. And your penis is no exception. You've probably heard the phrase, use it or lose it. It's often said about muscles or memory, but few realize how deeply it applies to sexual health. As men age, it's common to feel like intimacy becomes less of a priority. Health issues, medications, loss of a partner, or emotional distance can all get in the way. Over time, what once felt natural becomes infrequent, or even absent altogether. And when that happens, something subtle but serious begins. Without regular stimulation, the penile tissue starts to lose elasticity. Blood vessels become less efficient. Erections may become weaker or shorter. It's called disuse atrophy, and it's not a myth. Just like your legs weaken if you stay in bed too long, the same happens to the tissues responsible for sexual function. But this isn't about performance pressure. It's about physiology. Your body needs blood flow to stay healthy. Sexual activity, whether with a partner or solo, encourages circulation, supports nerve sensitivity, and helps maintain tissue integrity. Think of it as regular maintenance, like starting your car engine even if you don't plan to drive far. This doesn't mean forcing intimacy or setting unrealistic goals. Staying sexually active in your 60s, 70s, and beyond isn't about chasing your younger self. It's about honoring your current body. It's about finding new rhythms, new kinds of connection, and yes, even new ways of pleasure. And if intimacy with a partner isn't possible right now, that's okay. Masturbation, sensual touch, or even guided pelvic exercises can all help keep things in working order. The key is consistency, not perfection. Ignoring this area of health can lead to more than just frustration. Disuse can contribute to reduced confidence, increased erectile dysfunction, and even a higher risk of prostate issues. On the flip side, staying gently active keeps the body engaged and the mind connected. It helps maintain a sense of self, identity, and vitality. So, before you tell yourself that part of life is behind me, consider this. Maybe it's not over, maybe it just needs a different approach. One that starts not with pressure or shame, but with curiosity and self-respect. And if you're wondering whether hygiene plays a role in this journey, especially after 60, the answer is absolutely. Let's talk about the small daily habit that could quietly be protecting you from infections and far more serious conditions. You wouldn't go days without brushing your teeth. So why do so many men neglect proper hygiene when it comes to their most private areas? For men over 60, the body undergoes subtle changes that affect everything, including the skin. The genital area becomes more sensitive, the immune response slows down, and healing takes longer. That means a simple hygiene oversight can quickly snowball into something painful, embarrassing, or even dangerous. The most common problems? Bacterial infections, fungal overgrowth, foul odor, itching, or irritation. But worse still, neglecting. Hygiene can increase your risk for more serious conditions, including balanitis, urinary tract infections, and even penile cancer. These issues are more common among older men, especially those who are uncircumcised. Proper hygiene doesn't require anything fancy. Just lukewarm water and mild, fragrance-free soap are enough. Gently wash the area, especially under the foreskin. If you're uncircumcised, avoid scrubbing harshly. The goal is to clean, not irritate, and don't forget the step most men overlook, drying properly. Damp environments encourage bacteria and fungus. Pat dry carefully with a clean towel before dressing. It's a small step that can make a big difference. Some older men avoid touching that area too often out of fear, modesty, or even shame, especially if they grew up in an era where these topics were taboo. But taking ownership of your hygiene isn't shameful, it's responsible. It's part of respecting your body, your health, and your independence. Cleanliness is also closely tied to confidence. Knowing you're clean, fresh, and protected affects how you feel in your own skin and how you approach intimacy. It can remove a silent source of insecurity that often goes unspoken. And here's a final tip. Wear breathable underwear and change it daily. Cotton is ideal. Avoid tight synthetic fabrics that trap moisture and heat. Comfort isn't just about feeling good, it's about preventing infections before they start. Good hygiene is the foundation, but just as important as what you do each day is what you don't do, especially when it comes to forcing sexual activity without being fully ready. Let's explore a common mistake that most men never realize they're making until it's too late. You might think that as long as there's some arousal, it's okay to go ahead. But when it comes to sex after 60, timing and readiness matter more than ever. One of the most overlooked risks for older men is engaging in intercourse when the penis isn't fully erect. It may seem harmless, maybe even routine, but there's a real danger hidden beneath the surface. It's called microtrauma. Here's how it works. When the penis isn't completely firm, it bends and stretches in ways it shouldn't during penetration. This leads to tiny, often invisible injuries to the internal tissue, especially the tunica albuginea, the fibrous sheath that surrounds the erectile chambers. Over time, these micro-injuries can accumulate and result in scarring, poor blood flow, or worse, a condition known as Peyronie's disease. Peyronie's is more than just a curve. It can cause painful erections, loss of length, and emotional distress. And once it sets in, it's difficult to treat without medical intervention. So what's the solution? Patience, communication, and awareness. First, give your body the time it needs. Erections after 60 may take longer. That's normal. But when the blood flow is strong and steady, the tissue is protected. A full erection means the penis is firm enough to handle movement without injury. Rushing the moment because of pressure or insecurity only increases the risk of harm. Second, use lubrication generously. As we age, the body produces less natural moisture, which can lead to friction, especially if a partner is also older. A good lubricant not only prevents discomfort, but also reduces the chances of trauma. And finally, talk to your partner. Let them know what feels right, what doesn't, and when you need a little more time. Intimacy isn't a race. It's about connection, safety, and mutual respect. When both people understand the importance of readiness, the experience becomes smoother, healthier, and far more enjoyable. Your body may not perform exactly like it did decades ago, but it still deserves to be treated with the same care and with even greater awareness. Unfortunately, while some men may be taking care of their physical body, there's another silent trap that can damage their intimacy and self-worth from the inside out: overuse of pornography. Let's uncover how this quiet habit can reshape your mind and body in ways you might not expect. There's a quiet wisdom that comes with age, the kind that isn't loud but deeply felt. And if you listen closely, your body still speaks, even now, especially now. It speaks through how you feel when you wake up. It speaks in your energy, your comfort, your posture, your confidence, and yes, even in your intimate health. The truth is, your penis is not just about sex, it's a barometer, a messenger, a mirror. Over the last few chapters, you've seen how small habits, staying sexually active, keeping clean, avoiding micro-trauma, being mindful of porn, improving diet, sleeping well, and yes, even skipping underwear at night, can all work together to protect not just function, but freedom. Freedom to feel connected to your body. Freedom to choose pleasure on your terms. Freedom to age with dignity, not discomfort. Too many men suffer in silence. They chalk it up to just getting older or assume their best days are behind them. But aging isn't the end of intimacy. It's a new chapter, one that requires care, curiosity, and self-respect. And the most powerful part? You're in control. You don't need expensive pills or complicated routines. You need attention, consistency, a willingness to try, and a mindset that says, I still matter, my comfort still matters, my health still matters. So here's the question. Are you willing to listen to your body now? Because the sooner you do, the longer you get to enjoy everything it still has to offer. Take this as an invitation, not to fear aging, but to engage with it. To treat your body not as a machine in decline, but as a partner that still wants to thrive with you day by day. And if this message resonated with you, you're not alone. Thousands of men across the country are waking up to this same truth, that there's strength in vulnerability and power in taking care of what most people never talk about. If this video helped you, take a second to subscribe, not just to this channel, but to your own well-being. Like this video to show that men's health matters. And leave a comment below. Tell us where you're watching from, how old you are, or just share what stood out most.